I have found myself watching with my back turned to the ocean, watching lions surf the wave, and literally got caught inside. What an idiot. Would know much better than that. But when your kids start surfing, you become addicted. We're here today because of a New Earth project. We want to thank them for their support of the Stoked Bloke show, their support of the environment, and all the great things that they are doing. Yeah, great to have Kai. He's in town for the Sunset QS.
That's coming up tomorrow.
Kicks off tomorrow, so we've been on hold for nearly a week, I suppose, and we'll see some competition there at Sunset Beach tomorrow.
Should be waves too, huh?
Yeah, it's meant to be waves.
16 feet, possibly.
One sentence of advice for his first heat. He's the first guy in the morning.
First guy, first heat. The only thing you can manage and the only thing you need to focus on is the beginning and controlling the start. Nobody knows what's going to happen at any moment in the future. Not a surfer, not a coach. Nobody knows really what the ocean's going to do. So the only place your focus needs to be is on managing and owning the start. You manage and own the start, get the best of that opening exchange, set yourself up for the best pathway to win the heat, and just play it by ear from there, because no one knows. All the strategy in the world will actually make you bias to what's happening in front of your eyes, because you're looking for your strategy or the ways that you're thinking you want and the ideas you have in your head. And while you're looking for them, there could be all sorts of other stuff going on around you that you've created a bias or a prejudice because you're going to do this and you're looking for that to happen. What you got to do is just be open to react and do whatever happens in that moment. No one knows. The only thing you can control is the start, and that's where the focus has got to be, PK.
Is it blast-off season?
It is blast-off season. I'm wearing this shirt because this is the shirt from the last physical event, right, Randy? When we were at IT.
4 years of virtual.
Virtual blast-offs. We start today. We just connect with the best kids in the world before most other brands and events and people do. And from whether it's Steve Roberson or Aaron Brooks, Ned Hart, all of those kids who are now really pushing the boundaries of performance for themselves in the sport, those kids we met a few years back. And all the way back to Tyler Wright, won the first one in 2006. People like Russell Bjerke and Kip Caddy, wild free surfers through to, world champions have gone through that little pathway that we created.
A lot of people on the WCT.
Yeah, it's a Molly Picklums. I've got some great videos from our past participants, or alumni as we would call them. Jolie Vaughan, Huey Vaughan, all those kids I've known since they were little tackers, and now they're out there taking on the world.
Hugh Vaughan?
Joel, the older brother Joel. And Huey's been getting a lot of exposure out there too for his incredible surfing. They're from North Shelley Beach, the same place that Jughead is. Do you know much about Jughead? Mm-mm. You'd know a bit about Jughead, Kai. Justin Allport. He is so gnarly, and he is like a godfather of the slab surfing.
Oh, really?
He was there when it was only bodyboarders. And it's one of those interesting things, is that influence of bodyboarding on surfing. Like you would, it's not something you would imagine, but in the waves that bodyboarders have been surfing, they have led the way, and the surfers have followed, particularly Nathan Florence and the slab tour that he does. So people have, the bodyboarders have broken ground in the ways that they've surfed, and now surfers are surfing the same waves that old folk like myself most probably consider unsurfable. Or unsurfable for me. You're not going there either, are you? Going to Shippies? It's just crazy, isn't it? And we appreciate what you guys do. What I wanted to do on today's show, PK, is pay our respects to an absolutely incredible list of great Hawaiian surfers who have gone too early, gone too soon, and haven't had the chance to enjoy and embrace what their lives potentially could have been and their contributions to the sport. And it's a radical list of people, Hawaiians in particular, who have gone too soon. And we start off with Eddie Aikau. We know that the invite list for that event came out. You're in there, mate. You must be excited about that.
Let's hope it runs this year.
Yeah, let's hope it runs. The Bay calls the day, and I remember when Uncle George Downing used to run the event, there were some days that you go, well, it's close, but in the end, it wouldn't last all day, so it is a particular type of day for the Aikau, but massive love and respect for Eddie and what his contribution and the way his family have continued to pay their respects, and our community and Hawaii in general. Marvin Foster, incredible goofy footer, amazing pig dogs, incredible performance from Marvin, big influence on me. And then another surfer who, for me, was the major influence in terms of style and stuff when I came to Hawaii was Ronnie Burns. When I saw Ronnie Burns fly like a bird, and the way he used his arms and the way he threw his body into his turns and the style and technique he had everywhere from Rockies to Pipe and Sunset. Ronnie Burns, who passed away in a motorbike accident up in the hills here. He was an incredible surfer, went way too early. Mark Fu, big wave challenge, died at Mavericks, living his dream, pursuing his dream and being a pioneer and a founding father of the big wave movement. Much respect to Mark Fu. I've got Andy Irons, the great three-time world champion on the list who's been discussed. Then we've got Barton's Kalihukio Kalani, the most influential surfer in terms of style maybe of all time. When I was a kid, with the exception of Larry Bertelsmann, Buttons was the guy that everybody wanted to surf like. You wanted to surf like either Larry Bertelsmann or Buttons Kalani. So much respect to Buttons. Todd Chesser, you knew well. Yeah. Cheese went at alligators, outside alligators, pushing the boundaries of big wave surfing, and we loved he. And then someone who was right alongside him with the exact same spirit and craziness inside was Brock Little. Brock died of cancer, but was a great friend of mine, and I spent 2 years in my early visits to Hawaii sleeping on the couch at the Little's house when they had the tree house down in the jungle, and I met Brock surfing. I was surfing log cabins on a tiny day when there was only he and I out. And we switched boards and we got to know each other, and we both had the initials of BL. I connected him with Aaron Chang. His very first photograph in a magazine was on my surfboard. And Brock and I, we're brothers really, and so we miss him. Obviously the great Derek Ho, just recently passed, and the king of pipeline, and just an incredible family, incredible waterman, and Derek really inspired all of his family around him to be who and what they are.
First Hawaiian world champion.
First Hawaiian world champ, mate.
On the ASP, anyway.
Johnny Shamuka.
Yeah.
Dancing Johnny Shamuka, who was just such a bright light on the world tour with us for so many years. Just shining and beaming and just running around, lighting people up, and it's sad not to have Johnny with us anymore. The great Dane Kealoha. There's another who has passed and was one of the most influential surfers in the world. I don't know if I've ever told you the story. Somehow, as a little grommet, out on the world tour in '83, Dane says to me, when you come to Hawaii, let me know, I'll pick you up. And it's before, and I'm thinking, okay, but I reach out and go, hey.
How did you reach out? There's no cell phones.
Yeah, I rang him on a landline.
Wow.
And maybe I saw him at a contest too.
Well, you think
here's my flight details.
Joking?
Well, I as it turned out, I arrived at the airport. There was a point when I thought it was joking, and that's when he was like 45 minutes late, and everybody else had cleared out, and I was still sitting there on the concrete outside the arrivals hall, and then this truck pulls up. And I'm looking thinking, please, I've got to get out of here. I think I've been stooged. And there's Dane Kealoha at the wheel, and he's been surfing that morning at VLand. And he's a bit late to get me, and I jump in the car, so excited and touched and privileged, honoured. We go straight to VLand. That was when the days we could drive right down to the beach and park right there, especially if you were Dane.
Well, yeah, if you were Dane Kealoha.
Yeah, and we surfed VLand. Then he took me to Foodland. We got Haagen-Dazs. Went back to him.
VLand to Foodland.
Yeah, VLand to Foodland. And then I had dinner with him and his wife at the time, and then they dropped me at Mark Fu's Backpackers. And I was like, wow, that was my first day in Hawaii. So much respect to Dane Kealoha and all his influences. Kalani David. Another young man with incredible talent, gone too soon. We loved Kalani, I know you did too, and that moved us all. And then most recently, Tamayo Perry, pipeline charger, my neighbour, a great bloke, a real individual. He's just himself. So, I'm sure there's most probably others on this list, but that's an incredible list of just most influential surfers over time who really did go pass early.
It's insane The level of influence, that roster.
It's insane, the level of influence. It's incredible. And I just wanted to, I was sitting at home and I just started thinking all these people who weren't with us and the influences that they'd had on me. And I just started writing this list, and it got to that point where I went, wow, mate. There's most probably an interesting dissection or scientific exploration into the reasons for so many young men going so early in life, and perhaps there's the influence of surf culture and what it did, and maybe some of the roots that were a part of surf culture in those early days weren't so conducive to long life. I'm not sure what it is. I'm not speculating as to what it is, but we here at the Stoked Bloke show, we just wanted to pay our respects to that list of incredible surfers, and we know we would add just who we know is still with us, but the great Sonny Garcia's had his own struggles, so we thrown out our love to Sunboy. His first trip to Australia, Sonny stayed with me. He came down to Australia for the Pro Junior. Mick Mock, who was running those events, had him staying with us, and he was a little teenager, mate, and he found Cocoa Pops, like Cocoa Krispies, and he just mowed Cocoa Krispies, which I mowed at the time, and Coca-Cola all day, every day, and just absolutely ripped. So we love you, Sonny, too. So respect to all of those great names, and thanks for the contributions to our lives and to our culture.
Cool. You got anything else for today?
Yeah, let's we just released the Barton Lynch Pro Surfing video game. We just released a brand new update and patch for the game with updates to the water, updates to the graphic, to the sound, all sorts of updates and influences from the public, from feedback, and then stuff that the game development team wanted to do themselves. So if you've got Barton Lynch Pro Surfing, if you don't get it, firstly, but if you do have it, make sure you download that latest patch and get all the updates.
What's going on with Blast Off?
We transferred out of these physical events when COVID happened, and we went online. And as you said, it took us to a global audience.
What's the age group?
14 and under.
So, Kai, you can't do it.
Damn it.
Yeah. and it's our opportunity to reward the kids. We give away prize packs every day. We gave away 80 prize packs last year through the event. There's a month-long open window from November 1st to 30th. The footage can be shot anytime in 2024. Had to have been shot this year. It could be a compilation. We have age divisions, 14s, 12s, 10s, 8s and 6s. We have the GoPro point of view, best GoPro point of view. They win cameras. The best edit, which is sponsored by GoPro. We have a New Earth Project cleanup category where kids send in videos of them doing good service within their community, helping their community. It might be a cleanup, it might be a food drive, it could be anything, kids, where you are contributing to your community, where you are doing good for others. That's what we want to see, and that's kind of the spirit of a New Earth Project, is that we want to do good in the world. We want to change some of the bad that's existed, particularly all of that plastic, and the team at a New Earth Project and Atlantic Packaging, incredible work being done, eh? Some of the, from the plastic drink thing to revolutionising that, to coolers, all of that, to the surfboard packaging and the bubble wrap, all the stuff that we know to be so damaging. We know that there are alternatives that a New Earth Project has helped to publicise and take to the public, and that's going to help change the world. But we want to see what you kids are doing to help change the world. So that category is presented by a New Earth Project, and we just want to see you guys doing good stuff. Then we've got Best Tube, Biggest Air, Worst Wipeout or Best Wipeout, and what else? Best Ride. So there's all sorts of categories, all sorts of opportunities, but the most important part is that we want to be stoked. We want to feel that they're stoked for surfing in their videos. So it doesn't matter how good you are or not. The premise of the event really, firstly, is a coaching program.
So is that still happening, the coaching?
Yeah, we've got a panel of coaches, Bo Mitchell, Love Hodel, Philippe Malvoy, and every video that's entered is coached, and you get paragraphs of coaching and advice of how to improve. I always suggest people put one in early, and then try and shoot one in the period of time and put that in towards the end and let us know that you've shot that video in that month open period.
Imagine shooting it after you get the coaching feedback.
So that's
and
the
going
idea.
and working on that.
Exactly.
That'd
And
be
then
cool.
we see the improvement and see the changes, and then that's what really gets us stoked out, and then we send you prizes. Got a great list of sponsors. So that's on, and we're going to be rocking for the next couple of months with that. And then there's an election just around the corner. Can we wait? Hardly wait until the frickin' thing is over. You know what I mean? Like, I know that there's people and sentiment out there that is expecting the worst. The thing that you could do if you're expecting the worst is energetically contribute to the big picture by not expecting the worst, right? You could actually look at this situation and go, well, it could turn out good. We don't know. This whole assumption of negativity, of violence, of disruption, it's very disturbing to me because you're creating it through expecting it. And the more energetically we as people put that energy into it, out there and expect it, we're going to manifest it. We're going to make it come true. Time will tell how it goes.
I like that. No matter what you put out, there's going to be feedback. At the end of the room, there's a wall.
Yeah,
so
that's
you
right.
put out negative, boom, comes bouncing
Reverb.
back. Yeah.
Reverb. So people, reverb
let's take
good stuff.
control of our emotions and contribute positively.
Exactly, and put out this idea that, whether it goes our way or their way or your way or not, the idea is you got to live with it. People didn't like the last 4 and they had to live with them. Whatever the next 4 is, you're going to have to live with them. And the best thing we can do as a collective is put good energy out there, not expect the worst, not almost manifest the worst because it's in our head. Let's be conscious of ourselves, conscious of our own behaviour, and spread good stuff out there in the world. Thank you, people. That is this week's edition of the Stoked Bloke Show. Thank you, Peter PK King.
Thank you.
Thank you to the Pipeline Studios. Going to be a big winter ahead. Thank you for watching. We love yous.